let's take a look at Rime. It just came out today as I'm recording this, talking about it. Um, Rime has an interesting history where it was a PlayStation 4 exclusive, or at least console exclusive on PS4. Now it's coming out to everything. It just came out today, Xbox One, PS4, PC. I'm playing it on PC. Here, my little footage. Like from the jump, you look at this game and you see this Wind Waker-esque art style. It's very evocative of Wind Waker, also Journey in it. Not even its visual style, but other kind of details and happenings that go on with it. Especially the storytelling, which is just none of you're wandering around and you see a shadowy figure and you're like, okay, the shadow figure man's over here. I guess I'll go that way. And it's also got a bit of Ico in it, and I'm not a huge fan of Ico. I didn't finish Ico when I played it. I didn't play The Last Guardian either. I want to, not for $60, not for $40, but for Rime's price, which I got for like $24. Sure. And partially what this appeals to me is the Wind Waker styling of it. I am a sucker for that. I am a sucker for exploration, which is what this has. I've played an hour and a half of the game, so not a ton. Maybe 15, 20% of the game, let's say. Who knows? That's according to numbers I saw earlier. But I really enjoy it. I love the style. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And some of the things you see, just like the colors and the shapes moving around that form things, really just worth it to see it. It's something so unique. It's an experience game. Like, you can't die. If you jump off something that's too high, you just kind of teleport back to where you were. You know, it cuts to black and then you're bloop, back to where you were. You're solving puzzles and you're exploring, picking up little pieces of lore or just tidbits to pick up. Or doodads, I suppose I should say, doodads. And that's really cool. Like, I think the world lends itself to exploration in the same way Breath of the Wild does, where it's like, oh, what's that over there? I'm going to go over there. And then you go over there and walk around because it's fun to explore and see everything in this world. And just now I'm getting kind of further into it, and there's puzzles and you're moving blocks around and you're yelling at these objects to like trigger their weird spirit thing and move a platform or just open a door, or you need to activate all of these within a certain time limit and then the door activates, or messing with perspective to open a door. And I think that's a common criticism with the game, is that it's very basic, at least so far for me, and I agree with that. It's like, oh, I need to push this over here. Oh, okay. There was one puzzle I got stuck on, and that was just because I misunderstood what it wanted me to do. And there was one that was a little like, oh, cool, that's the solution. Oh, I get it, you know. But everything else has been like, oh, I put that over here. Okay, good. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. Not every puzzle game needs to be The Witness, where I want to like stab someone because I've been stuck here for so long and I just want to get to the next puzzle. So I understand that, and it definitely isn't The Witness in terms of that. Nowhere near that difficulty or that complex of a world. Well, maybe that's not exactly complex of a puzzle mechanics, I guess I should say. Because the world itself is so beautiful, and I've seen some footage of like mid-game stuff. Like, it just goes into weird places. It's one of those games when you're playing it, you feel it in the same way you did with Journey or with Ico, or then those things. It's like, it's just cool to see. It's just cool to see the world and like, what's going to happen next? I'm going to push this over here and like, oh, there's this weird fox thing. And now, like, get back here, fox thing. I'm going to chase this. And it's kind of an intangible thing with the game, with a lot of games like this. This is one of those things that you could very well not like a lot, because it's so just kind of free. Like, go just do whatever you want, and you could just be wandering around in a direction that's not the right direction. There's been a bunch of stuff right now, like, I got this one orb, I don't know what to do with it. I don't, like, what do I do with this orb? No clue. No clue at all. But I have an orb over here. It's not where I needed to go. I go where I need to go, and there's like an optional puzzle room, or is it optional? I don't really understand. There's kind of some story things happening where it's hinting, and it's like portraits, I guess you could call it, on a wall or two. And that's interesting, but I don't know if that's what's drawing me forward. What's drawing me forward is to see the next like crazy vista or cool, just like cool camera angle. It's so picturesque in all of what it does, and it's stunning, stunningly gorgeous. I had to turn it. I think there needs to be some optimization for it a little bit, because my PC should be able to run it maxed out, but it does chug in weird spots, and I think it's more related to the game. I don't know. That's just me saying. I think it might be the game, because I could play a lot of other stuff that seems. If I can max out Mass Effect, but I can't max out Rime properly, I think it might be your game, maybe. But that's neither here nor there. The game doesn't need to run super well because it's just pretty. You could kind of turn it down a bit if you want better performance. Anyway, this is one of the things you can collect. It's a little fox. The whole game kind of has a cute aesthetic for some of the things. Like there's a fox I see later, and this was an optional thing to find. And it rewards that with just little things. It has getting lost in like 7 trains of thought that happen at the same time. It has a very limited 3D platformer collect-a-thon vibe. Very limited, where there's not a lot of collectibles, but they are there. And seemingly, they are all optional. Right? The only things I need to do are what's next to the puzzle. Right? Like, what's the next puzzle? I don't need to find this object. I don't need to platform around to get there. This, I think I do need to do. But there are plenty of things like, I don't know what to do with that over there. I don't need to do it. I'd love to go back and see what that means, or just to see the world. Like, that's what was so striking to me. Like, it was just fun to be in the world and to see it. Look at it. It's so... I want another HD Wind Waker. Let's do Wind Waker HD, and let's get it looking like Rime. Because it's kind of stunning. Especially the trees. Like, they did a fantastic job with the trees, where they don't look like just 2D sprites layered on top of each other, which is what trees usually are. Or trees have branches with 2D sprites along the branches, which looks a little better. That's a little more modern. But these trees look like full trees, like thick foliage trees. And then like there's the guy on the thing, and you're like, I gotta go over and talk to him. Let me go and talk. And then he disappears. And I love the mystery and the wonder of it. I feel like it could go nowhere, and that's kind of fine for me. I don't need it to have some revelation. I don't need it to be like, that was another player that you were playing with online all along, Journey. I didn't really like, oh, that's interesting, whatever. Like, I don't need it to do that. I just kind of like seeing the mystery in the same way where a lot of games or movies, knowing exactly what happened and why it happened kills it. I don't know if I need to know all the mysteries here. If it stays a mystery, that might just be preferred. Now, I will say, up until about 2 days ago, I thought this was a Zelda-like. Because it just looked like Wind Waker. All they showed you was kind of platforming and doing things like that. Like, it needs to be stressed that this is not like Zelda really at all. It's kind of got exploration of Zelda in a bit, but other than that, this is an Ico, right? And it's very, very forgiving, as you saw me almost fall and die. I wouldn't have died, but I would have fallen for sure. And I want to play it more. Like, it's very early, hour and a half into the game. It's very early to kind of give judgment on it, but I can kind of recommend it. I can see maybe there's not necessarily backtracking problems, but issues where you don't know where to go, and you got to find one obscure thing, and then you got to climb for 3 minutes to get to where you need to go, only to figure out like, oh, I have to go this way. I could see that potentially happening. And that's worrying, but so far, so good, and certainly much better than the hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes of the next game that I played, which really crushed my spirits. I'm moving quickly today. I think it's because of the ARMS test fire. The ARMS test fire is happening. I can't even say I'm excited for it. It's a thing that's happening. But Rime, tentative thumbs up. Look at him hop around. Little cute little dude. Bloop, bloop, bloop. You get different costumes. That's another collectible. I love collectibles. This is what I'm talking about with the light 3D platformer elements of collectathons. Great work. Great work so far. Please patch it on PC. Please. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm hoping it's not me. Please don't be me. It's probably me. Probably my PC. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Look at him go through the little cave. Boop, 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 boop. I mean, that was so cool about it. Just going into the floor. It's like, what's this over here? What's that? Really cool stuff. It's got the giant spaceman thing going on. All right, that's enough.